talk. I want everybody to say something. I mean, say what you feel. We're going to try to really dig in. So, yeah.
All right, another thing. So, because we're going live, if you haven't liked the Facebook page already, if you can like Parameters Podcast Live, I'm going to do this right now, share it to my page. If you guys all share it to your page, if you like to, like that way we can get our views and people can see that we're going live and maybe go viral. I don't know. Who knows? It's ruin it. But I love Rona. I'm here, right? I could be in Charlotte World right now, but I'm here.
That's a diss.
I could be anywhere in the world right now, but I'm right here with you. So, so if you guys throughout the show, if you're able to share the live broadcast, that would be awesome for us.
Yeah, please, if you would.
I'm gonna do it myself. Give me 1 second, and then we will. All right. All right. So, you got the theme music. All right. So once the music start playing, if you're familiar with our show, with our music, this is the theme music. I produced this. Me and my band, me, myself, and some instruments and some, some beats and stuff. We produced this together. We came together and made this magical 30-second intro. So here we go.
Yo, what's up? What's happening? No need to adjust your devices. You're definitely podcasting with the best, Parameters Podcast. And I'm your host, Steelo GQ.
And I'm your co-host, Black Dev.
And this is episode 11. And tonight is very special for us because tonight, Parameters Podcast is live. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So tonight, Parameters Podcast is powered by Uncharted Wave, the official podcast network for Parameters Podcast, reminding you not to miss the wave.
And it's also sponsored by Cereal Box. Cereal Box is a little contraption that's put together with Nintendo, Super Nintendo, and Sega for all my 90s, 80s babies. It's something that I put together during school. And basically, it's just a combination of 3,000 games, take you back. If you're interested in the Cereal Box, we have the official Cereal Box pie page on Instagram. But if you're interested, contact us. I can make you one. I make them by hand. Take you all the way back, even the Super Nintendo controller. You can have all that. So Cereal Box, that's sponsoring us.
Yep, and it's a cool vintage video game console. So for all you guys who were into the Sega, Super Nintendo, all of that, man, it's pretty cool, man. It's about 3,000 games on there. It's pretty fun.
If you're any good at Street Fighter, man, I put 50 right now to Steelo GQ.
You might want to put 1,000 on that.
I put 1,000 Steelo GQ, so you know what I'm saying. So it's that serious. It's that serious.
Right. We're gonna talk after the show.
And also tonight is also powered by you guys, our audience. Our live audience is powering our show tonight, making it what it is tonight.
Yeah. So tonight's episode is entitled The Insecure Complex, ladies and gentlemen. So what we're going to do is we're going to tackle some of the insecurities and the complexes that are that we all go through, whether it's us, whether it's people you know. Just we're going to kind of touch on a lot of different topics. And again, I'd like you guys to, if you want to chime in, go ahead and chime in and say how you feel, because we got a few points we're going to hit, and I think you guys will enjoy that.
So I want to start off to talk about insecurities, how they work, or basically how they work with your brain. So your brain basically rewards and pains. Your brain's basic job is to make sure you don't die. Your brain doesn't, it's programmed. It doesn't know initially like what the difference is. It doesn't think about that in detail. So, for example, a reward, like when you work a long day, some people think it's a reward to come home and have a drink. That's just programming in your brain. That's a reward to you. Some people come home and go to the gym. That's a reward. It's just trained in you. But we all know that going to the gym is something that's better for you than having a drink after work. But your brain, if your brain is programmed that way to have a drink, then did you see it as a reward. It works the same way with pain or insecurity. So basically, insecurities is just a message to your brain that says, hold up, wait a minute. I don't, this hurt you before. This is something that, that might hurt you. So step back. It's not something you want to deal with. There's nothing more to it. It's not like you're something that your brain is just like, hey, you can move through it. But insecurities are not a bad thing. So for example, I was listening to something and they were talking about insecurities, and they brought up the fact that Jay-Z grew up poor. You know what I'm saying? His situation growing up, he probably had an insecurity about his financial situation. But all we know about Jay-Z from the time he started, even from his first album, he always made a presentation that he was established from the very first album. So it wasn't for him. It was his insecurity about not being broke, being in that type of manner. He didn't ever come out and just be like, I'm broke, I'm on the come up. He came out as, I'm a boss, I'm established, I've been doing this before, music. So Jay-Z's insecurity followed him throughout his career to almost making him a billionaire. So that's where insecurity can work in a positive way.
Right.
So we just wanted to bring that out because insecurities, the way we're going to present this today, is basically when you have an insecurity, like how can you take the insecurity and turn around and use it for your, the best for you.
Yes. And also we're going to talk about complexes. So, and every one of us can identify with at least some complex that we all have, whether it's good, it can be positive, it can be negative. So basically what a complex is a distorted thought that is triggered from a uncomfortable or a bad situation that happens in your life. So what happens is you have an uncomfortable situation, something traumatic happens in your life, which triggers your mind to start to think things that aren't necessarily true. So, for instance, like if a young man witnesses his mother being beaten by men or beaten by his dad, it's a traumatic thought in his mind, which then sometimes can cause a complex. What happens is that his mind then thinks that it is okay for him to then put his hands on women as well because it was a traumatic experience. So what happens is it causes a thought process that subconsciously makes you think that it's true. So it's like living a truth that is actually a lie because it's triggered from a traumatic experience. Like I know, and not to say any names, but I know a young lady who was in a marriage for a while, and then her husband, he was the type of guy that would cheat on her, and he did that a lot. And then once they finally got a divorce, in her mind, she thought that she had to really just put herself out there to get that attention that she didn't get from him. So what she did, she's a mother. She went from being a mother, a wife who felt unappreciated from her husband, then to a girl that was posting pictures all over Facebook, half naked, all over Instagram. So she basically thrived off of attention from men because she didn't get that from her husband. So it created a complex in her mind that she needed to really just be half naked on Instagram, Facebook, just to get attention, because in her mind, she didn't get it from her husband. So it triggered something in her to make her think that's what she needed to do for attention. So she was living a truth that was really a lie, because in all actuality, she had children, and, her daughter's going to have to grow up and then see what she was on there doing. And not to say that he couldn't have been the issue, but I mean, which he was, but, that's what happened. And then just a couple things I wanted to say about complexes. There's so many different ones. And just a couple that I want to speak on. And you guys know people like this. You got something called a hero complex, where you have people who will put themselves in complicated situations just so they can help people. And be like, oh, yeah, I'm doing it. It's a complex they have to have. They have to be involved in something. They have to make it really overwhelming, or so, oh, this is so much, but I'm gonna help you do. You know, most people's mothers have hero complexes. So then you got a God complex, people who are just, when they hold positions of power, they feel like no one can tell them anything. You know, they feel like they are the superior being, and they treat people like they're nothing because they have a God complex. And then another one I want to touch on, there's so many. You have the which we're going to talk about later, is the inferiority complexes, where people feel like they are subpar to other people, and with that they then act out against others, or they withdraw themselves from people. So those are complexes that we're gonna speak on.
Speaking of complexes, like I knew this one guy, everybody thought he looked Asian, and I grew up with this guy. Like, this guy, you know, he's black, but everybody thought he looked Asian or whatever. And like, this guy grew up and like, but he actually loved Asian culture though. Like, he was into Asian culture. He even wore a yin yang necklace. So it was just weird, like, because that's a complex that people gave him. You know what I'm saying?
But he didn't help his complex by wearing a necklace.
It didn't matter if he was a Colin Kaepernick afro. It didn't matter. Or if he was bald. You know, it was just a complex that people would give him regardless. So, you know, that's just something about complexes.
Yeah.
Which brings us into something that we want to talk about. The first point we want to talk about, bring it back to what he was talking about that situation with that girl and her husband. It was brought to our attention that men are the reason why women try to keep up a certain image, because of the things that we follow, like Instagram models, women that we follow online. We want to know if that's a true statement.
So are men the cause of women having a self-image problem? Anybody?
So we want to hear from you guys, though. We want to know what you think about that.
I'm so interested in hearing what y'all got to say.
Yeah. Just raise your hand. We got the mic man over there.
Are men the cause? Are men the cause?
Are men the cause?
Raise your hand for that mic.
No, I feel like looks that's related to fashion and all of that, and how men, football and basketball, that's their sport. Looks and fashion is women's sport. That's how they compete. But they try to do it on a friendly level. Sometimes it goes another way, but I think that's what that is. It's just that's what they're into. Fashion is their thing, and that's how they compete.
So you saying it's not the man's? The man is not the cause.
No.
It's
no.
Okay.
Do the females agree? Okay, we got
to take it to the lady. Yeah. Let the lady respond.
Yeah, okay.
So I think that it's a combination of both. I think that media has a lot to play in it. I feel like that media has set up the female to look a certain way. And even in different decades, in the 40s, they looked a certain way. In the 60s, they looked a certain way. The 80s, they looked a certain way. And everybody wanted to look like what TV was looking like. And so men expect a certain thing because of the media. Women expect a certain thing because of the media. And it's almost like mind games. And so you're looking at one thing, and it's almost like they hypnotize us to think that is what we're supposed to look like. So I think it's a combination of both.
Okay.
I agree with that.
Appreciate it, man. I think, just to echo to what you're saying, I do think that I don't know. In the grand scheme of things, I think people have unrealistic expectations. So, like when you're in a relationship, if you have your expectation is something that just can't be attained, and that's going to be a problem right there. Your question is, are men responsible?
Are men responsible?
Yeah, I would say that. Yeah, there's a percentage. I mean, not generalizing, obviously, but I would say that there's a healthy percentage. But I think it goes both ways as well. I think that it's the same thing when it comes to men as well. Sort of view it through that perspective there.
Right.
Yeah.
So me and Dev was having a conversation about this, and Dev was saying that he does not feel that men have anything to do with this. He said,
wait a minute.
He said,
oh no,
wait a
no,
minute,
no, no,
he
no.
said, he
no,
said,
no.
He said it's the
no,
society
no.
that. All right, go ahead.
Not anything. Like we're not doing.
Wait.
Okay. Well, I learned from a wise man not to marginalize people here recently. So that's not. I don't mean not all guys, not any guys, not always guys, none of that. But I think in reality, I don't know where women. Well, I know where women get it from because I work in the pharmacy. So I know when I go through the makeup aisle, I see these models like in makeup. Like it's not an average guy saying, "Hey, look like this." You know what I'm saying? So I know that's coming from corporations. So when I say that that's not an average guy's point of view, and when a woman says, "Well, that's what guys want," I don't agree with that because the average guy is not looking for that. So you can go into your
and so I feel like, and I've talked to my wife about this before, I always say men do not actually want what is seen on TV, on Instagram. You don't want that. Most men, I was saying today, we were talking, if I see a portrait or the painting of the Mona Lisa, I may say, oh, that's a nice painting right there. But when I go to buy decorations for my living room, I'm not going to buy the Mona Lisa. I might want to buy a sunset on the beach and hang that up. So what I was saying earlier to them when we were talking was just because I admire something doesn't mean I desire something. So the thing about it is we may see a beautiful woman, a supermodel. Oh, she's beautiful. But that may not be what we're trying to get. We just acknowledging the fact that she is a beautiful woman. But that doesn't mean that we that we want that. Go ahead.
Well, I like to put it like this. I like Corvettes. I like Ferraris. I like Lamborghinis. I like Alfa Romeos. All them nice cars, right? But I ain't trying to put the payment on it. You know what I'm saying? So you can catch me in an Avalon outside. You know what I'm saying? So that's my perspective on it. Like, sure, I like to watch TV and watch Beyonce all day long, but realistically in my life, do I want to put up with that? Like, I mean, because that's pressure on me.
Right.
If I walk around with Beyonce every day, I gotta walk around with a $500 million look, $500 million car.
It's the boxing gloves in your trunk.
Exactly. And then I'm gonna have to box everybody who walk up because everybody gonna look at her.
Yeah. So I mean,
that's my perspective.
Okay. I mean, so that's fair. So I mean, I try to tell ladies, and I want to say this, ladies. I love you, ladies. However, I want to tell y'all that the man is not. Don't take it to the heart if men admire something that doesn't. How can I say this without getting the ladies fired up?
There's no way.
Don't just because it doesn't look like you doesn't mean he's not interested in you. Okay, there's different. If I admire it, it doesn't always mean I desire it. I mean, it's okay to admire something. It's okay to admire something, man. But I want to say this too. Men do cause some of the issues because I'm gonna say this to the fellas: if you have a good woman, don't treat her like she's nothing, okay? Because that will cause her to have issues and insecurities. if you got a good one, treat her like a good one. You know what I'm saying? Don't mistreat her. Don't act like she's nothing. Don't not show her attention. You are causing those issues when you do that. So if you have a woman and you know she good, embrace her and love her and let her know. You know what I'm saying? Because when you don't, that does cause the issues. You know what I'm saying? So how you feel?
So the Instagram models, like, guys aren't caught following them for their makeup or their hair. You know why they follow them, for the ass and titties. Let's just get into it. So that's what y'all got to understand. You can't change that, right? You can't go to aisle 7 at CVS and change that. So when you put on makeup and you put on hair and put on whatever you put on, are you doing it for you, or are you doing it because you think that's what guys want?
Can anybody answer?
That's what I want to know.
Oh, man, hands went up.
Okay, so my response to that, and I've said this before, women absolutely put it on for themselves. We wear things that make us feel pretty. That's why we buy them. So we work so we can afford these things, to buy them for ourselves, to make ourselves feel good, just like everyone else. But to say that we do it, to hear a man say that we do it just for ourselves, that's just ridiculous. Because here's the picture that I lay out for you. Okay, if at some point we were all single, wanting to meet someone, if you go out downtown or to the bar and you wear, like what I have on, jeans and my Adidas, right. And I go out with just like my hair pulled up and no makeup, because that's truly what's more comfortable. That's what's going to keep my skin looking better in the long run. But if I go out like that and there's 10 other women that are in the heels and the dresses with the hair, with the makeup, now I have that complex. Not only do I have that complex because, yeah, women in general, I think, well, humans, we're all naturally insecure, but I have that complex because none of these men are coming to talk to me. They're going to talk to these women that have that hair and that makeup and those heels and them ass and them titties hanging out. So,
yeah, the ass and the titties, not the heels. We don't know
the
what
hair
brand,
and the makeup.
We don't know what brand your heels are. I mean, of course, your hair got to look.
But I mean, you don't have to know what brand shoes I wear, but
yeah,
it's the fact that if you have us stripped down to our bare natural, standing next to these women that have contoured and put this hair in and are jazzed up, wearing something that's meant to flatter the figure, they're going to get the attention. So we're disciplined to do that. If we want to interact, if we want to have positive interactions, I work at a financial institution. I can't go into work with no makeup. They're going to say I look unprofessional. Wow. And that's just at work. So like in a social setting, if I'm going out and trying to meet people and make a good impression, I am conditioned that I have to do my hair. I have to do my makeup. I have to wake up at 6 a.m. even though I don't have to be at work till 8:30 to start this whole process. So, I mean, we're conditioned, and it's not just us.
Right.
And I don't appreciate comparing average women to Avalons. Throw that out there. We're straight up went from Ferrari to we're Toyotas.
Blame C.
Toyota number one selling brand in America, if anybody didn't know that. So, and Avalon is the flagship car of the Toyota brand. So I was trying to be nice, okay, because the Lexus is still too damn high for some of us. All right. So.
I'm sorry.
I'm blind, and this drink don't make it better.
I was going to kind of say the same as her as far as like the expectations of women going into professional work. I work for the health department, so I'm expected to look good every day. I can't just come in there bone natural and like expect people to really look at me as a professional. So for me, I mean, I wear makeup every day at work, but when I get home, as soon as I get home, I take all of it off. Yeah. I'm so ready to be free from it. And I think it's, Men like natural. I found that out.
Yeah.
They really do. Hair and all. So
my thing is, hold on.
Yeah.
My thing is, you both said your jobs expect you to be that.
no, I didn't say my job. I said as far as being professional and the title
Are you
of my job.
professional at home?
Yes.
You're professional at home?
Shut up.
Okay, exactly. So what I was saying is your jobs require that.
Well, yeah.
So are you saying your job is a man?
No.
Okay, then. So I'm saying that's two different entities when you feel like
Well, of course it is.
you're doing it for a man or you're doing
mean,
it for
I
a
feel
job
like-
that's different.
Okay. If I'm at work, yeah, I'm going to put makeup on and dress nice. If I go out, I'm going to do the same thing. But when I'm at home, it's my right to do what I want to do. I mean, I'm with somebody. So, like,
Yeah.
it's like I can just do that and feel comfortable. But,
Okay.
you know, in the working field or going out, I think looking nice is good.
So when you say your job expects that, what is that? A corporation?
No, like, okay. So I work in front, like, with clients every day.
Okay.
So, I mean,
Society? Okay.
Society.
Yeah.
I work
I
with
mean,
lower income families, and you know, I want them to look at me as somebody that they can talk to, and also just have that professionalism about me. So I think it's important to wear the makeup and look the part.
yeah, something to say. Oh, you do? Okay.
I just wanted to quickly say that, you know, I've learned over the years that, you know, it's not really a blueprint when it comes to how people are perceived. I realized that, you know, it's cliche, but it is true that, you know, beauty is subjective. You know, you were saying about, you know, when you're going to the bar and, you know, feeling like you have to acquiesce and capitulate. So it is unfortunate, but most guys are shallow, and it's the truth that, you know, it's unfortunate, but that's I don't like to generalize and say there's a subsection of guys out there who it really doesn't matter. I feel like what happens is that people take the majority and then make that a consensus when it's not really the case there, you know.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Did you want to say something? Okay. So that leads into our next point of talking about. In 2017, do you think there is man privilege?
So
oh my
this-
God.
Hey, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, man. Go no, go ahead.
This guy, man.
Say what you gotta say, bro.
Oh man, we were just we were just talking about that 100%. I literally just had this conversation earlier today, and absolutely, I tell guys all the time as men, there are things that we never have to worry about. We have such luxuries as men. I give you just a quick example. If you're, you know, go to a bar or a club, you know, whatever the case may be, it's 2:00 in the morning, you know, you're walking to your car. As a guy, I've never seen like 8 dudes in a huddle or, you know, whatever. And I've never been like, oh my God, fearful, you know, like, man, this is going to be the case. A lot of women don't have that luxury. That's just one example of a litany of that I could explain. But yes, as men, we 100% have privilege. And I feel like it's never going to get better if we don't acknowledge it and own it and do our part to, you know, make things, you know, just do our part to make, especially for women that we care about. But yeah, men absolutely have privilege.
I definitely agree with that aspect.
Yeah.
That's one aspect I do agree with. Not every aspect. So I want to hear from a female in 2007. Do you believe
17.
2017?
He done went 10 years. In 1997, is there?
Well, I got unlimited refills on my drink. You know how that is. But 2017, do you believe there's male privilege? Anybody want to speak up from a female perspective? Thank you.
Talk to him.
Absolutely. Because, well, I mean, there's like a whole soapbox, and I think a lot of almost every single one of the ladies here would agree with me. I mean, I could stand on and talk about it for hours. I mean, I will not say all inclusive. Yes, in your entire life, you guys hold all the privileges, because it's not the case. Because women can get away with some things because we're women. Okay, I'm not naive or ignorant to that in any way, but I mean, you could break it down as far as, yeah, it's 2017. We still got a 21% pay gap. All these products that are marketed, we pay significantly more just because it's got a flower on it and it says it's for women. You know, it's society has conditioned us that we have to either act a certain way or look a certain way, and we pay for it. So I think there is much less stress on men to fall into those certain standards that women have to fall into. Financially, it's different. I mean, there's no arguing that, I don't think, but I feel like I'm getting off topic. But
Nah, you
Okay, so what do you feel like? Where's that female privilege?
Well, I mean, we can get out speeding tickets. You know, I mean,
that is true.
it is. I mean, we can cry, and
Is that it?
it impacts. You know, it can get us out of situations. But now, do I think it's taking a turn for the better? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you watch the news at all in the past like 2 months, then you know that I think women are beginning to be taken more seriously. You're seeing more female CEOs. I mean, it's still extraordinarily disproportionate, but there is still this in corporate America, this mentality when there's a leadership, it's instantly thought of almost immediately because he's a man, he's going to be a good leader. Women in the workplace, and I've witnessed it over and over again, tend to have to do far more to prove that than a man will have to do. And I mean, it's since the beginning of time, it's conditioned in us. I mean, look at the little girls' toys. What do you get? You get like high heels and shopping carts with plastic food. I know this because I was looking at some the other day for my goddaughter. And the boys have like these helicopters and these like engineering 101 like sets to put together. So, I mean, I think it starts at an early age. I think in 2017 we made great strides, but I think you guys absolutely still have the advantage.
So I'm gonna say this too. So I'm gonna play devil's advocate, fellas. I'm sorry. I do feel sorry for ladies a lot, for real, because I do think that a lot of times ladies do get the messed up end of the stick. A lot of times. This guy here is crazy. But so I mean, I feel bad for the ladies from time to time, man. You know what I'm saying? But you know what's going on is that, and not to go into this, but just touching on this quickly. But religion. If you're a Christian, it's been conditioned that you believe that the man is the head of the house. Okay, that's a thing. That's a thing that religion has placed in before us. Adam, then Eve was made to assist Adam, but Adam was the head of the house. Okay, man, if we're gonna be perfectly honest, everyone knows that the woman is really in charge. If y'all gonna be, thank you, brother, for being honest. And yeah, man, and I said nothing's wrong with that, but the man has always been listed as the figurehead because religion started that, and that's what we follow suit with. But the majority of the time, behind every powerful man, there is an amazing woman behind him. You know what I'm saying? So I do feel sorry for the ladies. Ladies do kind of get a messed up end of the stick. You know, they get harassed and sexually harassed and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying?
So like my point is, when do guys get sexually harassed?
Do men get sexually
When do guys
harassed?
sexually get? Right. Hey, oh, okay.
I-
Did y'all
I-
girls know that?
Do women feel like that?
Wait a minute.
I feel
Oh,
like it's a double-edged sword on it. Oh, do you want to go ahead? Go ahead.
No, go ahead. What you saying, man?
I feel like it's a double-edged sword on that note. Okay. Now, mind you, with everything that's going on in the news right now, with all the crazy stuff, Hollywood and all that, journalists, all that, right? What I'm saying is, if this would have been flipped the other way around, like it was a bunch of chicks coming out like, oh, Meryl Streep touched somebody, or Martha Stewart touched somebody, or such stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's been ingrained in our minds for so long that certain sexes have to play certain criminal roles, certain hero roles, certain household roles, and stuff like that. That it's kind of sad that, for instance, if something happened to a guy, especially by a woman, say at a young age, you got touched the wrong way by a woman at a young age. I mean, they're just gonna chalk it up. And I mean, it's even to the point where your homeboys would probably laugh at you, like, really? What you gonna do? I mean, who do you go to? And you see it on TV like all the time. If stuff happens to men that happen to a woman, it's a totally different reaction.
So do you think that is marginalized for men? Like if men get sexually harassed, that people don't care about that because he's a man? Like
I think because we've conditioned ourselves to make it it's got to be some big hairy guy and some little frail woman. I mean, just in your mind, you know what I'm saying? It's always got to be like, some female and some bad guy. You know what I'm saying? When it could be some bad female and some innocent guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's been plenty of dudes. It's plenty of dudes that we know that got a story like, man, I woke up the next morning and she was right here beside me.
Right.
She took advantage of me. What can you say? What your homeboys gonna say? They're gonna look, man, come on, you serious? The police ain't gonna even do nothing. What are you gonna do?
And that's on a serious note. That's for sexual harassment. That's for domestic violence. All that. It's a joke, right? If a guy says, my girl is hitting on me, that's a joke, right? That's a joke to the police. If a girl says it, automatic.
you going to jail?
It's
that
automatic.
Night.
You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying.
I vehemently disagree with that with that point there. I'm not denying that it goes both ways. I guess I'll just say that I feel very comfortable in saying it, and we're talking men, women, it pales in comparison what men are subjected to and endure opposed to women. I'm of the mindset that, gay, straight, transgender, whatever, anybody can take a shot. If you're walking down the street and you see somebody, I've been hit on by gay guys. I've had transgender people hit on me before. I don't really care about that. But there's parameters, right? Yeah. Hey, what's up? How you doing? That's one thing. Yeah. But you touching someone, getting a personal space. I just want to do a quick case study here. Have any guys, you guys included, have you guys ever been walking down the street and a man or a woman just come and just smack you on your ass and say, really? Yeah,
they never have.
Oh wow, okay. I'm curious.
I'm at work, yeah.
That ain't never.
Yeah, I mean, in the street, you just walk. You got your headphones in, Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole, whatever. So I'm like, what up, boy? Damn, that's
No.
Yeah, I've had girls grab my ass at work.
Absolutely not.
That's not.
Wow.
Never happened.
Okay.
Yeah.
That has never happened to me ever.
And they'd be like,
Hell no.
you single? Why don't you get
Wait a minute.
Man,
Whoa, wait a
you know
minute.
what I'm saying?
So what men have been? Raise hands again. What men have been smacked on the ass? Oh no, bro. You
That's
can
not
get the mic, bro. I
that's
want to know
uncomfortable
what
for
happened
us.
to you. I want to know.
I ain't gonna give too explicit details, but I'm gonna tell you this: 1998, Ghost of Hollywood, downtown. I was someplace I shouldn't be, right? All right, I'm just keep it like this for real. Look, anybody who know about the Ghost of Hollywood, you already know where it's going. Okay, I wasn't supposed to be in there. Okay, my cousin, she older than me, she's 16. Okay, I went with her because she was supposed to be doing something else. We were supposed to be going like a lock-in or something. Okay, so we ended up at the Ghost of Hollywood.
Were they church?
Yeah, there's a lock-in. It's a church event, so you know how things go around. Anyway, so I got on this how old it is. I got on a starter jacket, a pullover, Carolina Panther starter jacket. Holla at your boy. Telling you, it was terrible. The thing was, okay, long story short, we were there. Older lady smoking a cigarette, you know what I'm saying? I'm waiting on my cousin to come outside because the guy finally told me that he realized that I was young, so I had to stand outside. My cousin, you know what I'm saying, is 16, so ain't nobody saying nothing to her. So I'm outside waiting, it's cold. This lady smoking a cigarette, she's like, you want to sit in my car, honey, while I smoke this cigarette, you stay warm? 13, don't know nothing. Learned the long way. So needless to say, I was turned to a man that day. without my consent.
Oh, cougar got their hands on you.
Yes. So who do I run to? Who do I tell? Because I'm 13 and I'm in the ghost of Hollywood. So what do I do? And I mean, it ain't like it's something I brag about because it ain't something I'm proud about.
Yeah. I mean, all jokes aside, yeah, that's not cool, man.
But I mean, that's life.
Yeah, go ahead.
So if we were to just say 100, poll 100 women, right? We're polling 100 women. Okay, yeah. If we were to poll, say 100 women and 100 men, same question that we're asking, just what do you guys think? If 100 women were polled and men, and the question was, how many times have you been, touched without your consent? Someone grab your ass, grab your titties without your consent. What would you?
The real question
the women is the women is going to be overwhelmingly higher than men.
But the real question is,
60s.
let me ask you this: the real question is,
70,
if it happens
30.
once to him
Mm-hmm.
and more to a female,
Mm-hmm.
which is worse? It shouldn't happen. Period.
Yeah, but I agree with that. But I feel like it's to me, in my opinion, it's a false equivalent to say that it's an even playing field.
It's no equivalent because there's no like for guys.
Yeah.
Who do we have these conversations with?
Well, me personally, I'm.
Do we have it with our homeboys? No.
Yeah, I do. I
mean, we might, but like, what is?
I have
that
the type of friends where it's like when you know we all talk. You get with your boy, we talk s'mores, grab a
but
beer, or
women
whatever.
don't know that.
But if
women need to know that.
Women need to,
because women think that guys like this, if their dick get hard, that's it. Like we own for it. You know what I'm saying? Women don't know that.
You know, baby, right? You know.
But women don't know that. That's what I'm saying.
Have these conversations,
that's
right,
the
baby?
Consent to it.
Okay.
That's the consent. You know, it's more to us. You know, getting to that point is we can get nervous. We can get to that point. It's not. To that point. So,
Doe, what happened to you, bro?
Well, the same thing that happens to women. You find yourself in places you just shouldn't be. And mine, just certain events, concerts, clubs, day parties, sometimes even job parties.
Yeah.
And a lot of women think that just because guys like sex, they think they can just do that and it's okay. And they don't understand that sometimes we don't want just any woman to touch us. Sometimes we just want a certain woman to touch us.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Like it may be 10 girls in the club, but that doesn't mean we want all 10 of you.
Yeah. And especially like what was that movie Bad Bosses? The guy that was like a dental assistant and the dentist was just like all on him. Jennifer Aniston, like that's a prime example. But I've had that happen to me at work. And when I bring it up to like somebody I work with, like a close homeboy that I work with, they be like, "Well, shoot, you shouldn't hit that. You should talk to her. You should."
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm like,
response.
she shouldn't be at work grabbing my ass. Like that's not cool. Like if I did that, my job would be gone.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Sense,
we don't know what to do. If we bring that up, you know what I'm saying? Like nobody would take that. We don't feel like it, even if it was taken serious, we don't know how to present that as, "Hey, I don't feel comfortable with this girl doing that." And girls just be for real, girls be in inboxes just as much as guys. You know what I'm saying? Like they do that shit too, but it's the status quo that this guy's in my inbox, we gonna share this, like we gonna put him on blast, blah blah. But girls do it too. But if a guy do it, it's just like, cause you a smut, you a hoe. You know what I'm saying? Like they girl, it's just assumed that guys just want that, and it's not. Sometimes it makes us uncomfortable, especially when in a relationship. Somebody brought up earlier at the bar that if 20 girls come up to you and just like are touching on you, no guy's gonna be like, "Oh no, stop." And I said, yes, they will. If they're married, if they're in a relationship and they're committed, they're gonna be like, "Hey, I'm married, I'm in a relationship, I don't feel comfortable, please stop." You know what I'm saying? And if the girls still be like, you know what I'm saying, they still pursue it, that's harassment. But if it's a girl, all it takes is one guy and they can go to the extent, you know what I'm saying? See all these sexual harassment stuff that's coming out from these guys. Why is there no females? You think females don't sexually harass guys? You don't think so? You don't think Nicki Minaj or Lil Kim or all these sexual entities, you don't think they ever like harassed a guy? Like, no, you don't hear that story, but You know what I'm saying? They find it in guys. That's a society thing. That's not, you know what I'm saying? And that's just sexual. That's not even talking about other things like domestic violence, a lot of things that guys that don't feel comfortable talking about because it seems like less masculine to talk about these things. So,
Go ahead.
Yeah, so there's definitely a stigma as far as, you know, men voicing or coming out about things that have happened to them. But, I mean, you're starting to hear a few men speak up now with everything that's coming out. But I guess I feel like women have, like he said, so it's been so disproportionate for so long, and it's literally like it's a daily thing for us. We know that we can't walk this way to our car because, you know, it's not safe. We know that we have to go to the bathroom with one of our girlfriends because it's not safe.
That's true.
Like we're conditioned daily, like since like we're teeny tiny. So I guess if I could challenge you a little bit, what can men do to address this stigma? How can you guys support each other? Because we're just now getting to the point where we can stand up to these men in power. So isn't it, I'm not saying it's not us women's responsibility to support y'all, because 100%, and I would like to think that you guys would acknowledge the fact that we would, because in today's society, I don't think it's deemed as demasculating or emasculating, you know, to for something like that to have happened to you. But don't at some point you guys have to come together like women have come together and talk about it and take the stigma away from it?
Well, you just noticed that he took up for women in this situation, right? When is a woman going to speak up and say, hey, guys have domestic violence, guys get sexually abused? It has to come from the other side. That works with anything. That works for real. Yeah, like if a man acknowledges, it's from both sides, right? So it's like, hey, a man acknowledges that this has happened. We already acknowledge this. Like, let's talk about it. But women don't do that. They don't say, hey, you know, when do women talk about domestic violence against guys? It doesn't happen. Sexual, you know, it doesn't openly. I'm talking about like publicly. Like, just look. I'm just saying, just look. Everybody, all these sexual allegations, yeah, against people.
Yeah,
you know, it's against men. It's not against women. You think all these women celebrities don't sexually harass people? You think they ain't never walked around naked in their hotel with a guy? You think that didn't happen? You think that's only men that do that? Come on now. It's one-sided. It has to come from the other side. And that's not just with a gender thing. That's also with race. You know what I'm saying? That's what it has to happen to open up the dialogue.
Yeah.
So I think, and I do believe that men are sexually harassed, but I think women do look at it as harassment. But I really think that what it has come to is, and kind of piggybacking off what everyone else has said, since we were little girls, we are always taught that that males or men are superior to us. So now that the day and age we live in now, women are trying to find their way to be equal to what men are. And when we talk about, like, you know, women coming up and grabbing you and doing those things because they feel like men have done this for so long. So now we're going to do it because we're equal. And like, you're like, oh, women are in inboxes just as much as men are. The reason that is because they feel like, oh, so just like they can go around and sleep with people, we're going to go around and sleep with people. They're trying to be equal, even if it is an equal they shouldn't be. It shouldn't, you know, strive to be like on that level. That's why that's happening. Not because they're like, oh, I'm going to harass him. They say, you've been doing it for so long, so we're going to start doing the exact same thing. And you can't judge us because you have been doing this for a very long time. That's why you hear about it more now than you did before. Women were afraid to do those things before. Now you have, you know, these women in power that are making all women feel like it is okay to be equal to a man, which I do feel that way. I just feel like that some women are taking it in the wrong direction. They're doing it the wrong way.
Good point.
Maturity. Anything to do with maturity. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, it does.
Anything to do with them. Say I'm talking to a 20-year-old or something like that.
Yeah.
She's going to be, sometimes, not all the time, she's going to be different than the 27-year-old.
Right.
I mean, she's going to handle things differently. So does that have
maturity does have something
maturity plays a big part in it. Definitely. I mean, depending on, their age, how they handle situations, absolutely. I mean, the older the person, the more experienced, more wisdom, they know kind of more how to conduct themselves versus, but then on the same token, older and they kind of know how to maneuver a little bit more, they kind of know how to sneak through and do whatever they do, to get away with it versus because they've been, they've been around. So versus a younger lady probably doesn't. She's a little bit more open and like not as wise as the older lady. But I feel like maturity is a huge part.
Okay, so on that note, is that female privilege? Anybody in the room?
Go ahead.
Look up the mic, but
nah, man, I'm back here with the dry mouth. Everybody in here got a wet cup, and I got cotton mouth. But nah, like I think
you're standing behind the beverage.
Yeah, right, I'm the bartender, and I'm the one with the driest mouth in the room. But nah, like all serious, like I think it's a little bit of privilege on both sides. You sit down and think about it, because women is raised to think that we better than them or superior in some form or something like that. But we raised to do everything in our power for women. You sit down and think about it, like how much, like what lengths does a man go through, you know what I'm saying, to acquire a woman's attention? Like what do we do? How far are we really willing to go for the women that we love or like?
All out.
Wash my Avalon.
Bro, I'm gonna take a shower tonight because I want.
Not even a shower, it's just all out. We have to court women, right? That's what a real woman requires. That's just standard, right? As far as women, what I'm saying, like it's a lot of things in life. Women are more educated. Statistically, women are more educated than men. That's a female privilege. As far
as boy, open up.
Is that a privilege though?
Oh, who want to say something? Who want to grab the mic from me now?
It is a privilege.
Who want to say something?
That's a privilege?
Mm-hmm. Well,
nah, B.
And yeah.
Oh, there you go. I knew I had one.
It's not an opinion. The reason why is because men are, for instance, your insurance. Your insurance.
That ain't.
If I got that coupe, you know what I'm saying? I'm a guy and I'm a girl. My insurance rates are going to be higher because I'm a guy. That's a female privilege.
They actually changing that. I heard that now.
But we ain't changed it yet, so that's a female privilege. Sentences, as far as like when jail sentences, 63% of guys have higher jail sentences. 92% of guys are in jail compared. Like it's a higher rate of guys in jail. Suicide rates are higher in guys. Divorce rates, 88% of women go home they get custody of their children. 92% of guys have to pay alimony. 8% of women have to pay alimony. It's a lot of female privilege that you probably don't realize you have at all. You probably don't realize it, right? But when it comes down to that situation, like I'm a woman, it's my kids, it's my, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, we got one who wants to speak. So
yeah, let's go. All right.
Personally, I think that women have more privilege comes to education. I think that's complete bullshit.
Yeah,
I just think that I worked hard. I have a college degree. My boyfriend don't, but he's very smart, and I am too. I just feel like if you're willing to put the work into it, getting a college degree, you got to do what you got to do. But that's for men and women. It's up to that individual. Okay, look, am I willing to get this college degree or am I not? pretty much as simple as this.
I'm sorry. Okay, can I just quickly just?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, man.
I just wanted to say, when you say privilege, I don't know if you earned something that implies, a privilege, right? So if I work hard to accomplish a goal and I do so, that wasn't privilege because that implies someone was giving.
Exactly.
Right?
So,
Right.
so when people say men make 77 cents more than women,
right.
What did you do to get that? That's because men probably, for instance, women have to take maternity leave.
Yeah,
right?
there's no question. I'm not.
No, you know what I'm saying?
Sexism. Yeah.
So, but when it comes to a conversation for women, they say, "Oh, men just get paid. We do the same job. Men just get 77% more than us.
Yeah.
That's just how it is." Like, that's not what it is.
I'm
that's
sorry.
not reality.
Can you just let me laugh?
Oh
maybe?
no, I'm just saying,
just that last part.
It's no women. It's not a perception that, oh well, that guy might have worked harder, but to get that position. It's not that from a women perception, but just thinking about it in general, people say, "Oh, men just make that much more," because it's about a career choice. A man made that choice.
But you
can speak, and I'm just going by the statistics that I researched.
Do you think that men work harder than women?
No, I don't
exactly
think women.
what you just implied.
I don't think men work harder than women.
Done.
I know.
You done?
No, I'm not done because I already know.
I can tell you, at a local company, a previous CEO made $2 million a year, and the woman who replaced him makes 1.2 for doing the same exact job.
Wow.
And that's the
same exact job.
That's the company's
So those
culture.
kind of things do happen. But I will put a positive spin on some of the conversations that we've had. So I am a college professor.
Okay.
Cool.
I have never felt that I couldn't do anything I wanted to do.
Sweet.
I actually feel that the most supportive people above me have been men.
Awesome.
My biggest enemies, if you would say, at work have always been other females.
Ooh, all right.
That's gonna go right
I
into
also
what we're
have
talking about.
2 daughters, and watching them think about what they want to do when they grow up, and right now they're 6 and 7. All the choices they go through are, I want to be a cop, or maybe I want to be a firefighter, or maybe I want to be a DJ, or maybe I want to be an astronaut. They consider everything. So I do think we have come very far.
That's awesome.
Definitely.
Yeah.
To put a positive spin on it.
Yeah,
I agree.
We come around. Hold on.
From me working in different professional scenes, what I've seen is that the women usually in higher positions, they do work harder. They have to push a little harder to get to where a man would maybe get as soon as he gets the position. I do see a lot of other women that are in higher positions. If another woman is trying to come up with them, they are pulling them down. They stop them. They do whatever they can. They've made up there. They don't want another woman up there with them. I see a lot of that. It's sad, but it's true. It's kind of like the crabs in the barrel kind of thing, pulling each other down. And I think that you have hindrances on both sides. Maybe in different aspects on both sides, but I agree a lot with that. I actually get hit more on by women than men. Wow. And I had to kind of question myself, am I getting giving a lesbian vibe? Because I'm not. But I think that aggression in women has
increased
a lot.
Yeah.
It has increased a lot. And I think that women have gotten so fed up with men, that they're just like you said, they don't care. But I went and stayed in moved to Virginia Beach for a little while, and I could not believe the amount of women that I was hit on compared to men. Like, men will just look at me. Women, they're coming up, what's up, boo? What's your name? What you doing tonight? They do though, and it made me realize I love you. It's not like that. It made me realize that women have really evolved into their own, and really basically, I don't need a man, but since when, from the beginning of time, there has been roles.
Yeah.
There has been the man role. There has been the female role. In all aspects, in all religions, in all cultures.
Yes.
There's been roles in everything. And so, again, there's a mindset that the man should do this. And usually in most cultures, the man takes care of the family.
Right.
The woman stays home with the kids,
right.
take care of the house. But now men are, it's being reversed a little bit. Women are starting to go out. They are working more. They're taking care of more things. And then in the Black community, from what I see, from what I know, our Black men struggle. We have a lot of them getting locked up. And so Black women have had to go out and work their butts off. They have. They have really had to go out and work off their butts, like, seriously, because they feel like they can't depend on a man. And I don't know, I've had the pleasure to deal with white families and Black families. From what I see from white families, and I don't know if people would call this racist or whatever you would want to say, but from what I have seen, it's much different. The husband and wife might go through things, but they make sure the family stays together. The husband, you don't see a lot of them getting locked up. Now, I'm not saying that it's always the case. No, it's not realistic to say that. But women they're just a lot more aggressive now.
That's true.
I just want to say that there are some of us men that really do appreciate having women around, and some of us men also believe that it's crazy to have any kind of organization or business and there's no woman in it. Some won't even go on if there's no woman in the group, and I'm one of them. I believe that we need our women. We need to appreciate them.
I agree.
No man is above the woman. No woman is above the man. And we just really need to all appreciate each other, and also take into consideration that women really are struggling and going through a lot. And
right.
Nobody likes to highlight that but the women. And I think sometimes the men need to highlight that as well. If you see it, sometimes just say something.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of men just stand around and look, but never say anything.
That's very true.
So I think sometimes if you just say something to them, let them know, that they appreciate it, because men don't bring it up, but women can sometimes make the situation a lot better. We can get it done, but if there's a woman involved, sometimes it's a lot better. I have things that I have to work on, but sometimes if I bring her into it, I can get it done and it'll look good. But if I include her, sometimes it looks even better.
Even better, yeah.
Yeah, and I think that dudes don't want to say that. They don't want to bring that up. And what do you mean? I don't know. That's why I'm saying it, because guys don't say anything.
We don't know.
But when I have the opportunity, I do. But I just noticed a lot of the other fellas don't.
Right.
Yeah, I just wanted this to be real quick. I just wanted to say that, I tell Samara all the time that I feel like this is applicable to just life in general. We've all had bad jobs, right? We've all had crappy jobs that we look back like, I can't, but God, got to pay my bills, man. I hate this gig, right? So I'm of the mindset that, I've had jobs that paid $6 an hour, right? Just bad jobs. The point that I'm trying to make is that my bosses, a respect level was, if we're doing like a letter grade, right? We're talking like a B minus, A plus.
Yeah.
The point that I'm making is that you can't treat an employee on a C minus, C plus respect level and expect to get an A plus result. And that analogy I use to relationships as well. You can't be in a relationship with somebody down there and, to your point earlier, you just can't treat your partner with a marginal respect level and expect to get an A plus.
That's right.
That's all I wanted to say.
Yeah.
Super true.
So thinking about how women are more aggressive when we were having that conversation.
Yeah.
A question to throw out
Sure.
for everyone, and since this is a show about insecurities, what's the difference between confidence and aggression? And how thin of a line is that?
That's a very good
And
question.
when you think about a confident person, confidence tends to be a little aggressive. And so ponder that. Do you have to? Confidence sometimes is quiet and knowing when to not be. So think about that's for both sexes, because that can be why sometimes men are aggressive. They're just trying to show confidence, and same thing for women. And
that's
that out there.
That's a great question.
What do you say?
That's a wonderful question. So do we need to be aggressive to be confident?
I ain't saying that every time that you're confident, you have to be aggressive.
Right.
But in certain situations, maybe you do have to be aggressive.
Right. Because confidence is actually internal. But sometimes you do have to distribute it externally in order to get your point across to others.
It is internal, but for someone to say that's a confident person means they are expressing it.
That's true.
And how do you express it?
I would think it's two types of confidence. I think it's two types of confidence. You could be confident and be stoic about it, sort of like, you see your granddad or something. You know what I'm saying? How he quiet about it. He do his thing. He already got everything straight.
Yeah.
That's one type of confidence. And then you got the other type of confidence. It's kind of like a nervous confidence. Like, hey, I'm gonna be aggressive. I'm gonna be up front. I'm gonna be in your face, because I'm trying to cower you down before I cower down inside. Because that's an insecurity. You see what I'm saying?
Right. But you know what? Sometimes if I know, but sometimes I'll let someone else do what they got to do before I even say anything. I say, let them go ahead and do what they feel like they need to do, or let them say what they need to say, even though I know. I'm confident in my answer, and I'm confident I can get the job done, but sometimes I want to just let them do what they got to do, because sometimes you don't want to come off as arrogant, so you kind of let that person do what they do. Then if you see them sinking, then you come in. So, I mean, sometimes, you kind of hold back on your confidence, but, yeah.
Well, and I think men are naturally much more confident than women, and I'm not saying that this is a good thing, but I think that we as women are trying to almost overcompensate now. So we probably have that more aggressive confidence just because we feel like we're trying to, we feel like maybe I'm just speaking for myself, but we feel like, the odds aren't exactly in our favor in some cases. So we have to overcompensate. I mean, there's a lot of different aspects that go into it. I mean, personality type, communication type, just your general behavioral traits, that come into play that can impact that. But I think, especially in my younger days, I was probably much more aggressively confident. And whether it was true or not, I was like faking it till I made it. You know what I mean?
I was
But
the same way.
I had that mentality, not like sexual harassment wise. I'm more like in the workplace kind of is where my mindset at, or just like in general, trying to give this illusion of like, I don't know, I don't want to say like success, but just progress and things that I've accomplished. And, I could see women exuberating that a bit more aggression in their confidence. And unfortunately, it absolutely takes place, or can take place. You see it with women in the workplace or in some type of competitive nature.
Right.
And it's unfortunate.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, I don't have a solution for it, but it's just,
So
I do acknowledge.
So with that being said, I'm going to go into where we're going to touch on inferiority complex. So I heard a young lady saying earlier that some of her biggest opposition are females. So we're going to talk about the inferiority complex, and where we feel like we are not where we need to be as people, or we're not where we need to be in our life. I had a conversation with a young lady who was saying that she was on her job and she works her job the best of her ability. And she overheard some other women saying that they don't like her. They don't know her personally. They know nothing about her personally. But they saying they don't like her. She's not done anything to them. She goes to her job. She does her job. And that's that. But these ladies have expressed that they don't like her. What the hell is that all about? Ladies, and this is the thing. Me and Dev talked about this. He said men do it too. I don't see it with guys as much. Women, what's up with that? The I don't like her and don't know her from a can of paint. What's that? What's up?
You good?
What is that?
I think it's one of two things. It's either jealousy and intimidation, or the woman is not approachable. She doesn't make herself approachable. So usually you have two groups. The ones that are jealous and intimidated, they haven't really talked to this woman, gotten to know her. They might be jealous of her position, how she looks, what they feel like she has, and they are not in that place. The second group, I feel like it is because the woman has not made herself approachable.
Okay.
She's coming in, she's doing her job, and that's it. When you're working with people, it's a team. You're working with them. And I think that people forget that you got to work together. It's teamwork, and you're with them probably more than you are at home. It's almost like a second family. And so I think people go to work with the mindset, this is just my job. I don't have to make friends, which is true.
Right.
But you have to still be amicable with people.
Okay.
And so especially if you're in a higher position of management, I feel like you should at least come in with a smile and say, hey, how y'all doing? How was your weekend? You know, what's up? Like,
right.
Be approachable. And so I think it's either one of the two.
Okay, that makes sense.
Coming on over. Whew, boy.
I think that we try to define what that is. And so we come up with reasons like, well, they're jealous, or
right, or the haters or something.
Or, you know, they don't know her enough, and so they're making assumptions.
Right.
I think it's easier to tear people down. That requires much less effort.
Right.
It's actually our nature as humans to look at something else and say, well, that's less than me. Because that requires no energy. It actually does require less glucose. Yeah. It's less energy.
Right.
It actually uses a lot of energy to put effort into building someone else up, giving them space to let them shine, to go up to someone and compliment them. And so we will say, well, they must be jealous of me, or they must not like me because they heard me say something, and we try to define it when really it's probably just easier for them to not put the effort into being positive.
You know,
also, go ahead.
So there's a saying: if you want to build the tallest building in the world, you can either build it or you can tear down every building around you. So that's what that saying goes to.
Right.
So if you want to build the tallest building in the world, you build it yourself or you tear down everything around you.
So speaking of inferiority, could it be inferiority? Is it the fact that the women or the man see something in that person that they don't see in themselves, which causes a threat to them, which then causes them to build up this type of hatred or this type of resentment against that person because they don't, that person acquires a characteristic or a strong suit that they don't have in themselves? Is that possible?
I think it goes back to with the women tearing other women thing down. I mean, other women down thing. And if you think about it, it kind of goes back to, not to bring like race into it and nothing, but like the whole slave mentality. Like if one slave doing better than the other slave, let's talk about that slave. You know what I'm saying? Or like, for instance, it's crabs in a bucket. I guess that's a better analogy. You know what I'm saying? Usually in society, we've set it up to where, it's only like space for one chick on the team. If we're gonna allow a chick on the team, it's only space for one.
That's like hip hop.
Yeah, exactly. Junior Mafia or something, right? There's only space for one Lil' Kim. So then when you got another female artist come out or female doing whatever, it's the job to take the top one out so you can be in there, because society's only made a space for one. See, with the industries and stuff and the work world and the way the world is, men are generally placed in that place, like, you know, all construction jobs or whatever the case may be. But I feel like if a woman gets into it, other women per se, the other women will see her and be like, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? She ain't that great. She ain't that good. That could be me. And I mean, I'm not a woman, so I don't know if that's what it is, but that's what it looks like, you know? Because I know from, like, when you were saying how men, you don't see men do it.
Yeah.
From my perspective, I see men do it. You know what I'm saying? For instance,
How?
They do.
Explain to me.
Okay.
How.
Let me give you a prime example. Okay, you got the best house on the block, right? You got the biggest house on the block, the nicest cars. You got the wife, the kids, all that, right? Then the guy across the street can't make his rent. You know what I'm saying? Barely put gas in his car, barely feed his kids, right? He see you. He might not necessarily have that ambition in him to aspire to be like you. So he might not take you as a motivation. He might take you as somebody who's a threat. You know what I'm saying? Because then he got to go in the house, turn around, look at his wife, and be like, yeah, well, beans and weenies tonight. And then you look across the street, the neighbors cooking steak.
Right.
So you know what I'm saying? That's a lot of that for a lot of men.
So that's an insecurity.
That's an insecurity, exactly.
Exactly.
Right.
Men do that too.
So men do that.
I don't see men doing it that much, man.
Trust me, I've done it. I've done it myself, so I know.
Done that. Like, I'm telling you.
What fellas in the audience, do men typically say, man, look at him, I don't like him?
Yes, they do.
Do they do that?
Often. Look at the
Bro,
audience.
Do they do that?
Yeah, men do
No,
that.
do they do
Look
that?
at the audience. You think I don't know a whole lot of dudes?
Don't get down the mic real quick.
What was I gonna say? All right, insecurities.
So men do that.
I ain't gonna say everybody do it. Some men probably do it. I don't do it.
I don't do that either,
I mean,
man.
I don't look at somebody. I mean, maybe I might see somebody and be like, "Oh man, his swag is tight." Cool.
I compliment people,
Cool.
man.
That's cool.
Right.
Yeah, I'm upping you. That's cool. You fresh, bro. But I ain't gonna be like, "Dang, man, look at him. Look at this dude. He got.
You know what that is?
Look at that face. He got on that Armani suit.
No, but
I don't like looking all fresh.
No,
You need to get out the way. Let me come through with my chucks.
I don't like those dreads. I hate him.
Them, what is that? Maturity, right? That's maturity,
Yeah,
right?
I mean, I guess so. It ain't just
So
man,
when
that's
you see another guy, I don't know if that has to do with being raised that way, but that's maturity, right? So when you say, I compliment the guy, he's doing his thing.
Right.
But when you do your thing, and then no matter what you do, it don't matter if you cure cancer right now. Are they here right now? No. That's what it is.
Man, I've never.
You know, but guys are different because I'm going to tell you, just from experience working with these guys over the years, like we would do stuff. We've done a lot of stuff. We'd be out in public. We see the same guys, and they can see it on Facebook Live. I don't care. We see the same guys at the mall, at public places, and they be like, oh, you in from Charlotte? Oh, you doing your thing? Oh, Swagger Puss? Oh, podcast? Oh, cereal box? Oh, like they'll name 5 things that they know I'm doing. Never like anything, never share anything, never buy anything. I don't care, but they do that. That's because of the same thing, because when they see it, they say, oh, he think he live because he got a cereal box. I don't want to play Nintendo. I got a PlayStation 4. I don't care. I'll build one up eventually. But you know what I'm saying? It's just that mentality that it's like, that's what people have for no reason whatsoever.
But ladies do it on another level, man.
They
You
do
don't
it
even
on
know
another
her, man.
They're
I don't
more
like
blunt.
her. Like, why? You don't even know her. Like, that's insane to me. Why? Why do people, most I want to know women, why do women, ladies that's here, why do women do that? What the hell is that? Like, I don't like her. You don't even know her. What the hell are you talking about? Like, you've never had a conversation with her. You've never got to know her. Y'all may like the same stuff. Y'all may have the same interest. What the hell? Like, I don't like her. Right, some petty, crazy shit, man.
All right, before we go into,
Why are
we
you
gotta know.
assuming
We
that we
gotta
don't
know
know
before we end because we gotta close out
Yeah,
soon. Cause
I need to know. I need ladies. I'm not gonna
we,
sleep
we,
tonight.
we want to know that mentality. Like we don't know as guys, because guys are kind of like we hate.
Dudes
But
is-
then when we see a guy, we like, that's what's up. You know
I'm
what
gonna tell a
saying?
dude when I see
in,
him, you doing your thing,
yeah,
bro.
yeah.
Keep it up, and
You know, it's
much
not.
love.
It's not to the point. And guys, you know what I'm saying? Like if we have issues, we can get over it. You know, we might fight, we might get over it, but we don't hold grudges 10 years later and say, hey,
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we want to know from women why, for no reason, why do you hold grudges?
Right. Is it an insecurity? Is it an insecurity? Is that what it is? The fact that you don't like her, you have no clue who she is as a person.
All right, we need a female on the mic.
I need somebody. Talk to
Are
me,
we only
please.
saying if
Right
we
now.
don't know them? What if we do know them?
If you know them, then that's you have
yeah.
a
That's
justified
Usually
reason.
that's the only reason that I'll say I don't like a woman.
No,
is
it's
because
not.
Because you're
I don't know
mature.
them.
Yeah, right.
I'm talking
All
about
right,
these
so we
petty
need
girls.
somebody that's actually just not knowing somebody and just say, hey.
I have a guess.
Give me a guess.
I think that there's a mentality that if someone has something, it is taking something away from you. Like there's a limited amount of benevolence. And if they have something, that means you don't get that much of it. When we know that's not the reality. Like we all can have anything we want, right?
Right.
It's just my guess because it explains a lot. But I do know it starts young. So I did not know that even in kindergarten, girls are starting to tear each other down without it happens so young. And it's heartbreaking because I watched my girls go through it. And it's why I don't understand. But so that's my guess is that we think there's a limited amount of greatness. And if she has some that's that much less greatness, I'll get to have.
Wow. Knock it off, ladies. Y'all doing too much.
I think it could be something. It could be something like that, but I also think it'd be something like, okay, let's just say I know someone, she knows someone. Let's just say we're talking about her, for example. We're like, I don't like what's your shoes. They look cute. I don't like that. What if somebody else who knows her said, oh, don't talk to her. I don't like her. Mind you, she ain't do nothing to me, say nothing to me. But it could be like somebody else's biased opinion could be on, like, for example, me that could say, oh, I don't like you, chick. Like, and keep it moving. And you like, what? It should be like, I don't even know you. Like, how do you not like me? And I don't even know you. Pretty much what you said.
But that's ridiculous. I just don't understand why. Like, it just, to me, I just think ladies, it's enough going on with ladies, and they having obstacles to where all ladies, in my opinion, need to unite. You know, you need to be in each other. Yeah, and everybody. You're right. Everybody needs to unite. And
Everybody,
And with that being said, you know, and that's the conclusion of what of the podcast. But in conclusion, we want to say that, you know, even with these things that we've talked about, at the end of the day, we need to all unite. We need to all look in the mirror and say, what can I do to make myself better? One person at a time, we can make the world better. What can I do to embrace this brother, this sister, and lift them up? Not tear them down. Let's get past our insecurities. Let's get past our complexes. Let's get past the things that we have going on and focus on empowering ourselves so we can empower somebody else. That's the only way things are going to change.
It's not. So small changes is true, but
right. But at the same time, it takes baby steps.
You have to
know
be
what I'm
aware.
saying?
You know,
In
when people act this way, they're not aware. It's a subconscious thing. If you hate on somebody, it's a subconscious thing. You know what I'm saying? You have to be aware that this is going on, and you have to be aware that you're not going to progress if you feel like you think you need to be better than somebody else. It doesn't work that way. So that goes into inferiority complex. The point of that talking point is we don't need to be comparing ourselves to. We're all individuals.
Strive to be the better you. Strive to be the better you.
I don't got abs like Carl. You know what I'm saying? I don't got muscles like Jameson. I know he's been waiting all night to hear that. You know what I'm saying? Like things like that. I don't. I'm not as tall as either one, you know, but it doesn't matter. I'm my own person. You know what I'm saying? Same thing. Like on the female side, like you have uniqueness to yourself. And that's when people have to realize. Male privilege goes along with female privilege. It goes both ways. Females have things going on for them right now, just like males. So don't be stuck in the 60s, like when you want to be, when it's convenient for you to say, hey, yeah, guys do this, guys do that. Females have things going on for them as well. And be conscious of that. Like,
right.
Because men cannot progress. You can't expect men to get better if you're stuck in the mode in the 60s. We're not in the 60s. Men need to know how to express themselves, do better for themselves.
Yeah.
So be compassionate to that. And for my original point, why do you do the things you do? You know what I'm saying? Even from guys, like why do you feel like you gotta have cars with a rim or Jordans or whatever you feel like? Are you doing it to impress yourself, or you doing it
because that's what the hood rats like? Okay,
you know what I'm saying? Like this, that's you know what I'm saying. When you wear makeup, are you doing it for you, or are you doing it for, you know what I'm saying? A lot of women said that was for their job.
Show up to the projects looking like this.
You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, when you ask them, they say it's for a guy.
Right. Do it for you. At the end of the day, do it for you. Do it for you. It doesn't matter what someone else thinks. You do it for you. You love you. You love yourself. I used to tell my wife, and I heard Diddy say this, and it resonated with me. He said, my mother and my grandmother loved me so much that it made me love myself. And I feel the same way. I had a lot of support from my mother, a lot of support from my grandmother growing up. It made me love me. So when you see that, when we give love to one another, it causes people to then love themselves enough to be able to go on. And it just spreads love. It spreads positivity. You just don't understand. You just don't know how much just giving a compliment or being positive or smiling or telling someone they're doing good or just saying a positive thing or embracing your girl or embracing your wife, telling her how good she is or how much she means to you. Even your children, telling them how good of a job they're doing. Your homeboy, telling them, hey, man, you're doing a great job. You know, that stuff goes a long way, man. You just don't understand that just by giving that love, spreading that love to each other, then empowers each other to grow even further. So with that being said, appreciate everyone for coming out tonight. It's been great, and definitely you guys already know, and everybody who's going to be listening, you are definitely podcasting with the best Parameters podcast.
Thank
episode
you
11. Thank you. Live event.
Yes. Like the page, share the page, help us move farther so we can have like these discussions.
And everyone that's listening and everyone that's here, please go on Parameters Podcast and leave a review.
Yes.
If you have an iPhone, leave a review. If you have a Samsung, see if you can leave a review. SoundCloud.
What?
And do that for us, please.
Wherever you at. Yeah,
wherever you are. So we appreciate it. Works. So Parameters Podcast, episode 11, live, first live event. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
You guys make some noise, and you guys are super
One more time.
Make some noise, Joe.
One time.
Man, stop it. Yeah. Appreciate it.
Peace and love. Yes. Peace and love. Thank you very much. Peace and love.
Thank you, guys.
Love you.
Everybody stay tuned for God Made Dirt, the new podcast coming out soon. It's mine. And I'm going to have an event that piggybacks all their events. So when they finish 30 minutes early, I'm going to have a 30-minute show. God Made Dirt.
God Made Dirt.
Be looking for it soon on Uncharted Waves.
4 minutes. Oh my.
I'm supposed to be playing music right now, but
God Made Dirt.
A little tipsy.
Thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. Love y'all.
Okay. Thank y'all for coming out, everybody. We appreciate it. Now you'll be listening to the sounds of Doug Brown and his amazing beat making skills and all that. Please drive safe. Take your sandwich home. Take some of them chips home. We know you got some kids that you left and locked in the house, and you didn't tell your baby daddy that you left them with the kids. So take some of that food home. Your girl probably left you and you ain't got nothing in the fridge because she took the EBT with her. Take some of that home with you now. Amen.
Amen.
Please, please. I can't ride with an unopened bottle in my car because Vinton don't like me. So please drink some liquor before you go because I'd rather see you go to jail than me. I got problems. All right, now we can get ratchet in here because y'all got a little liquor in you. But for real, be sure to check out Parameters Podcast. Go on the page, like it, do all that stuff, man. Shout out to Black Dev and Steelo GQ. We about to play something that's good for you now. Hold on. Hold on. Yeah, hold on. Hold on, I want to see somebody shake something. Let me see what y'all got. Dirt got something. Dirt got something. Dirt got something. Whoop. I want to see you go to work. Let me get that check, go to work. Let me borrow a couple dollars, go to work. We got 4 minutes to break this down. So drink all this liquor. Pass out in the parking lot. Stay here. Don't get in your car because it's drunk driving. Just stay asleep and then it's drunk in public. Charges is lesser. Trust me. You don't want an SR22. Believe me. You ain't got the money for it. I've wrote enough bad checks to know. Twerk. Doo-doo. Be looking out for God Made Dirt podcast. Once again, I'm gonna tell you again to be looking for my podcast coming soon. Then I'm gonna have an event, and all y'all better show up, cause I told you. I know you're gonna be there. Man, how you been doing, bro? I know. I was sitting there like, man, I know you know me. Yeah, like it's been a while.
I like hearing y'all irritates, man.
Man, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it.
The way you was describing some things, I was like, all right, that's me. I've been telling you, the way y'all bring things forward, I like some of y'all analogies, especially when you brought out the cars.
Oh yeah, speaking of which, if you're offended tonight by me calling you a Toyota, I'm sorry.
Toyotas last long, bro.
That's what I'm saying. My Toyota 96 and it run hard.
You are not a Toyota. You are a Lincoln. Don't let nobody tell you different.
I'm just saying, don't be afraid to be a Toyota, baby. One day you're gonna be a Lexus. You're not a GS 300 right now. You might be a Camry, but you a V6 Camry. Now that's special.
That's right, baby. You gonna trade up now, baby.
Oh man, get you something, man. Man, tell them, man, the Camry is fly. Stop being ashamed to be a Camry. Your daddy was old rusty Ford and your mom was old beat up Lincoln and you came out to be an old beautiful Toyota and you won't be mad. Y'all be ashamed of yourself. Half of your damn inspection stickers is bad, but ain't nobody saying nothing about that. God bless you.
Missing of 2 front bumpers. I mean teeth.
Please stop by this bar before y'all leave. I cannot take another charge in Vinton. That's what y'all do not understand, okay? They know my car. Like I said, it's an Avalon. They know it, all right? Help me. Please, please, take a doggy bag, something. I ain't got enough smoke in the house for all this food, so y'all need to take something. Ooh. Don't worry, because I'm going to do this all the way home. And I ain't got no kids in my house. Nah, Havana, nah. God Made Dirt, coming soon. It's a podcast. It won't be on iTunes because I'm broke. And something, need to put some ice in my cup. Cause when I drive, I hope I'm not hooked up. Oh, damn, we had beer. Oh, I'm be home told up.
You're like the choreographer on like a cruise ship. Like you're like telling everybody what to do.
You don't put him on a flight deck, motherfucking plane. Like, oh shit, was he gonna land? Yeah. He said he lands to Japan somewhere.
Don't feel bad about. Look, dog, don't feel bad about talking to yourself. I do that shit 3 times a day.
I'll be talking
I encourage bad behavior.
Yeah. Oh, please, by all means, strike water.
Hey man, I got an answer.
I got a little basketball thing.
Okay. It's cold. All right. I dig it, brother. I dig it, brother. Oh, I appreciate it. It's good right here, man. I appreciate it, dog. Yes, sir.
I believe we should watch
This saved me like $10.
Yeah. I'm not serious because I remember last time I ain't got to place money in August. You don't need to stop. You don't need to stop for food on the way home.
Jameson right there.
And it's my whole house.
You finding our selection of appetizer. We have barbecue and fries. I'll be your sommelier for the evening.
Did you with the PH? Yeah, I did too. 2011.
Surprised I graduated. I slept through about 80% of it.
Yeah, I think I remember that.
There's a special ability I acquired over time. I can sleep anywhere in almost any position. All I need is about a good 30-45 minutes and I go right back to what I'm doing. The problem is, man, they didn't want to let me sleep when I was at PH. So I had to get creative. Yeah. After that, went to trade school, figured out how to weld, work heavy machinery, warehouse and shit like that. Now I'm in the steel mill.
Me, after PH, went to Western, then to Toronto. Had a couple of jobs. Now I work for
Car salesman? Car saleswoman?
No, airline.
Oh. Well, got the monopoly on plane tickets. Got the monopoly on plane tickets.
Yeah, it's kind of get in while get in type thing. So it's not necessarily a good thing, but you can be seated in first class if it's space. So it's like, yeah.
Native farther than me, I ain't even got over my fear of feet off the ground thing. Like me don't do fly no good. Swim like fish. Swim like barracuda. Me don't fly though.
Oh, really?
we don't do the floaty in the great blue yonder.
Yeah, I like to fly. So it's like, I just need to get out of the country.
That's actually the main reason I was working on my passport. I'm gonna go back to Mexico. It's not too bad. It's not as bad as everybody make it seem on the news. Depending on where you go. But I would prefer to go back and be able to get back in a little easier. Get a passport, go to Mexico. I speak Spanish anyway. Go to Spain, Puerto Rico. And I just go from there.
See, I would like to learn Spanish.
It's not that hard. It's like
you gotta be around it so long.
Man, I grew up around that shit.
So you grew up, so your brain is used to that. I walk over and
Español como es el idioma de Romas. Coño, Latin. Latin. If you know French, Italian, I would say like if you know one of those, that makes it easy because learning Spanish helped me learn French. I'm trying to think. Like the main thing with Spanish you want to learn is like the alphabet. So I learn the alphabet, the vowels, and then I, you, and them. So like he or she, that's pretty much it. You're not gonna really use much for we. Like we is just like no social. They don't really use much for we. The main thing about it is just like learning the words. That was it. That was it. Like the pronunciation was hard and just figuring out the words and shit. So
And then like the slang.
Hey, the slang changed because depending on where I'm at or who I'm talking to, like I could be talking to a Dominican. So like when I go to the Bronx,
it'd be different.
I talk to the Dominicans. I know in the Bronx it's like como que moco. I say like how's it going todo tranquilo. But I see somebody I know from like Mexico, Spain, like que tal. I say oye como va. It's like more colloquial, like. You pick it up, but it's, the core of it is still the same. You can go up to anybody and be like, "Oye, ¿cómo va?" It'll be like that. I took a shine to the Dominican because I grew up around Puerto Ricans and Dominicans. So it's like, I always heard que tal, como que mucho.
Yes, like my sister.
Chocolate, Gucci. I think Ty Dolla $ign. I think. Hold on. I know this is Gucci and Shy Glizzy, but I think it might be Ty Dolla $ign. I'm gonna check this out, man. I had it. I think I got it on my phone, but I don't know. I don't know my phone. Damn, no signal. Alright, 1,000 songs, no family now.
Hey, baby. Look at the dance. You don't want to dance with me, man? No, there's this notion that tall guys, are selling athletics, and I guarantee you that we got, how many guys we got right here? We shot 10 free throws, just real quick. How many can you make out of 10? We shoot 10 free throws out of 10. How many you making?
I got like, that's 3 on the
Okay, we got three. 6 and a half. We got 6 and a half. You make it 7, 4 to 5.
Jackson making all of it.
Yeah, make it all. I'm like 10 free. We shoot 10 free throws. How many you make out of 10?
9 to 10.
I'm probably like about 4 or 5. So to answer your question directly, dog, yes, I was on the team. Now I got a jacket, you know what I'm saying? You look back in the year, but I got a jacket, but I got the height, but the dexterity, mobility, agility, that went to guys like you.
All I got was training. Everybody in high school was taller than me. Like, yes, I'm looking. It's cool. I'm up here with you. All right, see y'all later. I'm going. Too much work. I'm going back to school.
This is absolutely cool about that, man.
I was looking at I watched like.
I appreciate it, man. You both be easy, man. Take care, man. Hey, man. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Be easy, man. Nice to meet you, my friend. Yes, sir.
Good seeing you.
And next band, we expect to be.
That's okay. Samira.
Hi, Steve. Nice meeting you.
Hey, bro, you stay in contact with everybody, man. We're trying to keep the group going, bro. Oh, shit, dude.
Hey, look, this dude could jump out the gym. I don't know if he's still can. This dude. That's all we used to do during summer basketball. We knew a lot of stuff.
You my type of dunker. That's all I got. If you throw it to me, I'll get it. Put it in there. And when I was in hospital, I'm like, put it back. You are your nephew. My nephew. I'm 6'5" guy. He's 15, right? 6'5". Deep, right? And I'll be 6'7". I'm new to this. First grade is
Yeah, I never did that one.
He not solid. He's solid. He's solid. Yeah, that's everybody says all the little folks, all the there's two more here, and I'm kind of like, yeah. And I'm like, I don't want to disappoint anybody. He's a good kid, man, love and shit.
I got it. We got it. I didn't know what it's going to be like, but I knew they were going to be it's cool. I
mean, I was being positive about it. It turned out better than I thought it would.
Everybody's
I'm glad.
Exactly. More to say, man. I was into it. I never sit down and talk like it's kind of like you go so rock. I think this year, that's a recommendation.
It's good at the film like that. A lot of niggas gonna talk. We all on. Like I put it on the page, Damien. Or I text you. I text you.
I do it a lot of times. That right there.
Oh, the nuances of I just wanted to tell you guys.
Hey. I hate you.
Hey, anybody want some shredded lettuce? I don't talk salads.
I'm dying when you say You guys have It's really good. It sounded good. You can hear both sides. Both sides. Hey, that's what he said. No, you sound like I don't know. It just sounds like
Kept the boxes for them drag shit.
Okay.
Back in there.
Yeah. All right. Is it okay if we go and start doing that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
did you say? Huh? What did you say? Probably for like the water.
Oh shit, my phone got 1% left. What you say, man? My shit about to die.
Oh, sorry. Let me get
I appreciate it, man.
Right.
when the sun stay up.
That's coming home. Cool. Hey, man. Yes, sir. Take care, man. All right, y'all.
Yeah, it does. Like, cause you have to be in a place where we're dumping all this stuff.
You can put that in that bread one. You got any more water? So you done with the water?
Done with the water. It's gonna be confusing as hell.
I learned.
I'm just like,
I'm taking this back with me. If anybody ever had like questions, over the weekend, this is what I heard. Maybe you think this way, maybe I think this way. You know what I'm saying?
what?
Yeah, that was cool. That's
All of it? It's a whole bottle.
I know.
I can sell. You know what? I'll just set it in the bar downstairs at our house. Because Steven bought this stuff, right? Unless someone's planning to take it.
I don't know.